Now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Albumversearies, the show that goes track by track on albums that are celebrating an anniversary. Today's artist can be described by many hyperboles. He's fab, he's gear, he's neither a mod nor a rocker.
No, I'm a mocker.
He's one of 4 Liverpudlians who changed rock and roll music forever. And to this day, he preaches and practices peace and love.
Hello there, this is the famous Ringo here, Gear Fab.
What is it I can do for you, as it were, Gear Fab?
Not a bit like Cagney.
Ringo Starr. Now, if we're being completely honest with ourselves, and I'm sure it will pain my daughter to hear me say this, but Ringo was always the weakest Beatle. No offense intended. He had the weakest singing voice, and at the time, he was the weakest when it came to composing songs. That being said, how do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice. Practice makes perfect. And Ringo's songwriting ability really began to flourish, at least in my opinion, when he wasn't in a foursome with arguably the greatest songwriting duo of all time, Lennon and McCartney. Once away from that lens, Ringo was really able to blossom. Ringo actually co-wrote the entire album we'll be discussing today, Why Not?, with various collaborators, which we'll get into with each song as we normally do. Are you ready to discuss the album? Because I most certainly am. We begin with track 1, which is entitled Fill in the Blanks, and it was co-written by Ringo and Joe Walsh. Now, a little known fact for the general public, but Joe Walsh is actually Ringo's brother-in-law, as his fifth wife is Marjorie Bach, sister to Barbara Bach, Ringo's wife. The song features some very heavy drums and loud rocking guitars, the latter of which is provided by Walsh himself. The lyrics seem to chronicle a man who's tired of being hurt and is looking for something new. Lines like, quote, just an empty feeling, searching my soul. Change of disposition, reaching a goal. It's definitely a rocking way to start off the album. Track 2's Peace Dream was co-written with Gary Nicholson and Gary Wright, assisting Ringo on the track. Again, steady drums, melodic guitar really set the pace for this song that seems to be quite a bit inspired by his former Beatle brethren, John Lennon. Lyrics like, quote, no need for war no more, better things we're fighting for. No more hunger, no more pain. I hope I have that dream again. Or, quote, so try to imagine if we give peace a chance, all the world could be living in harmony. One day, our dream could be reality. I mean, he even goes as far as to name drop Lennon in the first verse where he says, quote, can you imagine all of this coming through? It's really up to all of us to do. Just like John Lennon said in Amsterdam from his bed, one day the world will wake up to see the reality. It really fits in with the peace and love lifestyle that Ringo always preaches. Now, The Other Side of Liverpool is our third track, and it was co-written by Ringo and Dave Stewart from the Eurythmics. The song tells about some of Ringo's early days, before the Beatles, how his mother was a barmaid and his dad left him before he was 3 years old, how he had to go to Steeple Street just to take a bath, and how he'd play just for some lukewarm beer. Not ideal circumstances by any stretch of the imagination, but still quite the catchy tune. The fourth song is a great transition from the last track, while The Other Side of Liverpool spoke of Ringo's pre-Beatle years. Track 4, entitled Walk With You, which was released as a single on December 22nd, 2009, actually features Beatle brother Paul McCartney. The song was co-written with Van Dyke Parks, and originally, Paul wasn't supposed to be on the song. He was originally supposed to be on Peace Dream, which, when you think about it, makes a lot of sense. Walk With You was originally intended to be kind of a gospel-y song, but Parks said that he did not want to write about God. So they reworked the melody and completed the track as a song about the power of friendship. McCartney developed the trailing duet in the melody of the song. I just enjoy seeing Paul and Ringo still working together after all of these years. As we get to the end of what would be side one of the album, track five's Time, we get another Ringo and Dave Stewart collaboration. The song's lyrics are designed to remind us that each day is the best day of our lives. So make the most of it. Positive affirmation from Ringo Starr, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone Wins is our sixth track on the album and would kick off side two. In the lyrics, Ringo and co-writer Johnny Warman try to remind everyone that we all need to take care of ourselves and understand that everything is planned. There's more than you and me, and harmony is fine, but the key must change every now and again. For track 7, Mystery of the Night, Ringo collaborates with Richard Marx. It's a rockin' love song where the narrator gets reassured that his lady loves him. He mentions how the sound of her footsteps coming near is a sound that he loves to hear, how he can't remember who he used to be before she loved him. Thoroughly enjoyable track. On track 8, Can't Do It Wrong, it has a nice jazzy feel to it. Co-written by Ringo and Gary Burr, the lyrics tell the listener that as long as they try, you can't do it wrong. I'm not really sure how much I agree with that sentiment, but nonetheless, the song is still catchy as hell and worthy of rotation for any Beatles fan. The title track, Why Not, is the next to last song on the album. Written by Ringo and Glenn Ballard, the bass just slaps you right in the face from the start. In the song lyrics, Ringo tells the listener to do whatever it is that you want to do. Why not? The outro features some sitar and Indian-sounding lyrics, which I'm sure were a subtle tip of the hat to Beatle brethren George Harrison. The final track of the album is entitled Who's Your Daddy? And the co-writing credits to this one go to Ringo and Joss Stone. The rocking guitars and pounding drums really get your attention right from the jump. And the duo trades some banter back and forth on the chorus, but Joss Stone actually does the majority of the vocals on the song, as she's kind of fed up with her lover. And Ringo asks her throughout the chorus, "Who's your daddy?" As Stone replies with a variety of things, from "not you, no more," to "I'll drop you to the floor," to "just check yourself," and finally, "not taking it no more." All in all, I thought Ringo delivered a fantastic album here. He's the type of performer who just seems to age like a fine wine. His lyric writing abilities have definitely improved from the Beatle days, and I'm sure a lot of that credit belongs to his numerous co-writers. But nevertheless, even 15 years later, this album still rocks. I give it an 8 out of 10. And I just can't stress and reiterate enough that Ringo the Beatle Ringo, and Ringo the solo artist Beatle, especially from the early 90s when he began his all-star band tours and really working with Mark Hudson as a producer, to today, these last 35 years, not even the same Ringo. Musically, lyrically, writing ability-wise, Ringo has progressed, and like I said a few times, kind of aged like a fine wine. But when you're co-writing things with Mark Hudson, Dave Stewart, Joe Walsh, Gary Wright, Richard Marx, you're gonna bring your abilities, your A game, if you will. I'm sure a lot of the times, and I'm not saying this to disparage Ringo or to try to discredit him whatsoever, but I'm sure a lot of times Ringo brings the concepts, and these other people, your Joe Walshes, your Richard Marxes, your Gary Wrights, your Dave Stewarts, your Mark Hudsons when he was working with him, they help structure the song so that it makes sense, so that it flows the way a hit song needs to. But Ringo brings the concepts, the message that he wants to convey, and they help him put it into a proper lyrical composition. But that doesn't change any of how good the album is. This is one of the most solid albums, track for track, that I've ever heard from Ringo. What do you guys think? Let me know. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Let's have that conversation, that discussion, that debate, that interaction, that discourse that I'm always asking from you guys. Let's get together and conversate about the universal language, music. I want to thank you guys for coming and joining me here once again on the Casa D18 Studios YouTube channel as we celebrated another Albumverseary today. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.